Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to Nettlefest. This is our final little video just to close the whole weekend down, and I'm quite literally now immersed in the nettle. Just want to thank everyone that contributed this weekend, everyone that did videos, and also everyone behind the scenes. Thank you. It's been really great just to have the support, and we speak for the nettles. We had a great chat on Zoom earlier, so we've had bandied a few ideas around. We'd really like to do some kind of nettle retreat, a weekend retreat, perhaps even online, depending on how things pan out in this crazy old world. And also, as a group, we've actually just been gifted spinning wheel as well, which is fabulous. So we'll definitely be doing a bit more exploration with the fibre heading into autumn, and we'll be working with the seed, obviously, so we'll get that information out there. So yeah, just to finish off, I just wanted to read the final part of the Nettle Epoch. As I said at the beginning, this was a little manuscript I just happened to find late one night in a bus shelter. Yeah, very synchronistic. So here we go. This is the Nettle Epoch 2020. It starts with a little quote again, which is, "On the heights overlooking the crossroads, she takes her stand." That's from the Blessings of Wisdom from the Book of Proverbs. It's Ketuvim number 8. Okay. The inn was more welcoming inside than it had appeared from the outside. Nuifri set about battening down the hatches whilst instructing the 12 to settle in the comfy chairs that surrounded the fireplace. It was piled with wood ready to be lit. All it needed was a spark. After closing the shutters, the nettle lady made her way across the room to do just that, and then proceeded to light a number of candles around the room. The smell of incense danced around them. Although cosy, the room was sparse, dominated by 2 large stones on either side of the fire. The first, a bright blue turquoise stone, a talisman of protection revered by our ancestors. The second was a huge peridot, born of fire and light. As the storm continued to rage outside, they did indeed feel protected inside and began to relax once again. From a nook in the fire, Nuifri produced a freshly baked rich fruit loaf and invited them to break bread with her. "Would you like some nettle wine?" she inquired. "It will put a fire in your belly," she chuckled. They all were poured a small chalice each, and the conversation began. "Why do they call you the Nettle Lady?" one of the 12 inquired. In truth, they had all been itching to ask. "It began when I found myself seemingly trapped in the mundane. I travelled to the boundaries, discovered the productive edges, and became aware of internal foundries. It was an elemental journey, starting with the earth, from aggregates to soil, a transformation into the keystone. As I was once invited, you all too can journey down a narrow, less trodden path, where nature is teacher and wild magic tickles your fingertips. The Nettle Epoch is upon us, my friends. Listen closely, and I will tell you her story." News of the nettle, a little bird brought me, a message given to her whilst flying free, of how this year, if you get pierced, you will feel a sting oh so fierce. Hooray, ray, hooray, ray, to burn, bringer of the flame, a wisdom we call nettleology, a pioneer plant which cannot be tamed, a guardian of the threshold, transporter of the breath. She is ready now for war, she is ready to protect. Some say she is evasive, or is she screaming to be heard? A Nettle Epoch, hear me cry, take heed of every word. There exists such a symbiosis with this our ancient mother, called living fossil, called famine food, a plant unlike any other. Protector of beast and bird, creator of soil, a harvest you can gather without the need to toil. Queen of transmutation, a guide to us through change, resilient and adaptable, evolved down through an age, brings antidote to the sickly sweet, a mother's milk for pain, to nourish and to strengthen, food directly to your brain, teaches about boundaries, stokes internal foundries, assists synapse interchange. She's energised to act when things around get tough. Nettle is the one that nature calls on when she has had enough, for she is destined to make a stand, to heal the ravages wrought upon the land. She holds the power against the foe, whom through the land does rove. Her roots run deep, and she brings flow. If you meet her, you will know. After initiation, Nettle offers all she has. She has the empathy to feel how we too are nettled and don't know what's real. Tantalisingly veiled her wisdom, not all has been revealed. If the world makes you feel weary, let her be your shield. Connect with this powerful ally who holds the power of light and dark. You may think it strange, but at close range, she will lay bare her spark. Time for earthification, movement, growth and change. Nettle tribe, we all shall rise through photochemical exchange. To sting as the nettle does, two houses now united. Choose unity, evolve, be free, your passions now ignited. When taking counsel with the nettle, show caution, give respect, for all she gives and all she knows. Nettleology in full effect. The 12 had been listening raptly. With her eyes blazing, she stood. "This too will pass," she exclaimed, and with a flourish she grasped the nettle and threw it onto the fire. There was a spark so bright it flew from the hearth and danced around them. It got bigger and bigger until it became so bright they all had to close their eyes. Colours swirled around their inner vision. First, bright hot pinks, purples and oranges, giving way to yellows and greens. They also saw a myriad of different shapes, squares, circles, triangles, and ones they could not name, configuring into symbols they did not recognise. Finally, a calm came, and their inner landscape grew blue. Things returned to their rightful place, and the universe breathed out. Slowly, they opened their eyes. They had travelled between the lines, through the secret door of the leaps of life, and were now clothed in pure energy. They slowly realised they were no longer in the Wurgular Inn, but in a cave. They looked about themselves in wonder, and saw they had come to a place where the light meets the dark and becomes one. It was warm in the cave, and beside them there was a small underground pool, fed by a small waterfall. Shafts of light shone through small fissures in the stone above, making the water sparkle. On its surface grew many white flowers of countless species, fragrant and glowing. On the wall, etched in the rock, was a symbol of a snake, or maybe it was a dragon, forming a circle and eating its own tail. Instinctively, the 12 stepped into the pool and rested there a while. It felt womb-like. They listened to the sounds of the breath and the water, smelling the fragrant flowers. They felt refreshed, as though a lifetime of weariness had been washed from them. They felt whole and grounded. It was then they noticed a small passage with stone steps leading up to it. Well, they did not know. And so it was that they departed from that place. The 12 changed. Shadows no longer, but whole and energised, focused and able to truly see, not just with their eyes, but by all available means. They travelled up the tunnel and emerged into a bright blue clear sky. They found themselves in a beautiful meadow. It was outside the ideas of right doings or wrong doings. All about them, nettles grew tall and majestic as far as the eye could see. The plane of the plant minds had gifted them these close encounters of the weird kind, itself a fragment of the line of knowledge which runs through the collective consciousness like a divine golden thread. And all of a sudden, they knew of the nettle seed and leaf. They knew of the root, stem and flowers. They knew of its powers of transmutation and indomitable spirit. The line of knowledge had taught them how to respect its wild nature, to understand its niche in the web of life, and how to work alongside this abundant resource for food, medicine, earth care, fibre and art. And so it came to pass that the 12 settled there, and each brought another 12, so their numbers equalled 144. They had gained 20/20 vision, and their vibration attracted still others, who travelled to that place looking for answers to questions they did not know. And as they were once invited, they now invited their brothers and sisters to join the Nettle Epoch. If you are ever travelling in those parts, and you listen very carefully at dusk, when it's time to gather round the fire, you just may hear their cry, "Nettle tribe, we all shall rise, Nettleology in full effect." And the Nettle lady, no one knows where she went, or if she will appear again. But if the narrow, less trodden path is of interest to you, and you truly wish to seek the line of knowledge so it may continue unbroken, then there will always be room at the inn for you. You just need to knock.